It's already 4. Okay. Happy New Year to my people, to my special brother. Are you seeing Uwadiale's comment there?
What is he saying?
Uwadiale just the early arrival. Happy New Year to you, Uwadiale. And Happy New Year to my special brother, Mr. Roland. I really appreciate you. You are very, very supportive, and every time I come on live, you're always supporting me, and I really appreciate you. Yay, Marina, my correct person. Correct. Marina, you are the next person we will be doing live with. Oh. I said
Is Marina there?
I was gonna send you a WhatsApp, but plenty things just did this head. They scatter my head. But God is on the throne anyway. This year we will conquer. Thank you so much for joining. We already have 22 people on joining us on this live. Please, you can tell me hello from wherever you are. I want to say a very big Happy New Year. I know that this new year is going to be a special year for all of us. I mean, nobody wishes themselves bad things, right? So you always wish yourself good things. So I am I'm excited that you are joining us for this live where we have to gain clarity for 2025. Yes, so Marina, yes, so thank you so much for your support. Mimi, thank you so much. His, thank you so much. Advert Teco, Daniel Onos, thank you so much. Wasira Tushaibu, thank you so much. Aina Samuel, thank you so much for joining us. And I'm happy to bring my special person, special coach. In fact, I don't know what to call her. She's awesome. Like if I am fixed, she's the next person that I have to call, right? So she's been like we know each other from way back. I don't want to mention when, but we know each other from way back. So Eruke has attended John Maxwell Leadership, and she has a lot of certifications under her belt. She's an avid reader, like she's always consuming books. There is nothing that you would want that in terms of advice that you talk to her that she will not give to you. So she's that good. And on the 31st of December, I actually called her because I was stuck at some point. I was trying to organize myself for 2025. I had to call her, and she had to tell me some hard truths. And the truths were not easy to swallow, but I mean, I had to take them. Eruke is that person that will give you those kind of hard truths. So I'm happy that she's here to help us and for us to get clarity. And if you're here and um, you are confused about certain things. It might be your personal life, it might be your social life, it might be your business, it might be your career, it might be your children, it might be anything. It might be your relationship with people, it might be your family, anything. I believe that Eruke will be able to give you clarity. Like if she asks you certain questions, you'll be able to dig deep into yourself and find the answers for yourself. And we need people like that in our corner. When you get stuck, somebody that you can always reach out to help you unravel the what do you call it now? The things, the answers that are inside of you, and she does that. So welcome, Eruke. You see, she already has a Maxwell leadership logo at the back. She's a
Oh my
coach, like
goodness.
everything, anything that you need to, like if you need clarity, just please, you reach out to her. I'll leave her details later in the description box of this video so that you can reach out to her. And then please also follow her on our social media handles. I'll also put her social media handles on the description box of this video so you can follow her. Okay, so Eruke, I'm going to start with the topic for today, which is, gaining clarity for 2025. A lot of people just coast through life. I used to be, at
Okay.
some point, I was a planner, but at some point, when things are not working out the way I wanted, I started coasting. Like, I didn't care anymore. I was just coasting through life. I beg. Life is life, So I want you to help dissect what it means to gain clarity and put our lives in a in a space that we will follow for the year. So I want you to talk about that.
Hi, Wolo. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Wolo, for this wonderful opportunity to use your platform to reach out to people and to speak to them. Wolo has been a lifelong friend. That's what I will call her. She's one of the most intelligent, and I tell that every day. She's one of the
My head
most
is swelling.
she's one of the most resourceful person I know. And we both share the same birthday. And
Yeah.
that for me is very special. She's an amazing person. She's one person that reads a lot. She says I read, but I don't think I read half as much as Wolo does. And she's very hands-on. And she's very, very reliable. She's resilient. She's one person who latching on to something and she keeps going until she gets the results. She never backs out. She never gives up. She's always there.
My shoulder pad is increasing.
And she's always so
My shoulder pad is
passionate.
increasing.
She's passionate about what she does, and that's one of the things I like about her. She's resilient. That's one word for Wolio. Every time, very smart, upbeat, and she knows exactly what she wants and she knows how to get it. And she's so driven, purpose driven, and that's one of
Thank
the things that have always drawn me to Wolo. And now to the topic of the day: what is
thank
clarity?
you.
What is clarity really? When you say clarity, what does that mean? I'll put it in simple terms. Clarity simply means knowing where you go, knowing where you want to go to. You have a destination.
Mm.
How do you get to where you need to go to? Knowing where you want to go to and knowing how to get there. Clarity is more like the how. How do I go from point A to point B? And the truth is no one has all the answers. And most of the answers you seek is actually within you. If you are willing to look inward and make some hard decision. Today I sat down as I was coming back from church. I did a simple, very, very small video. And what was I talking about? Very simple thing, Wolo, and I'll just explain it to you. And
Mm.
that will kind of put in a nutshell what clarity means. I want to lose weight, for instance. How do I lose weight? A lot of people have that on their list for years. Clarity simply means you sitting down and asking yourself, what do I have in my pantry? And having a clear idea of the food that needs to be thrown away, what needs to get out of the pantry, and
Eruke,
what needs to be.
sorry, I have to cut you. That do you know I was doing? I have to confess, I'm a food hoarder. Let me just say this: I'm a food hoarder. It's bad. It's that bad. Like I buy food, and people will not see it as a problem, but I see it as a problem. So yeah, now that you're mentioning it, it's part of my goals this year not to be a food hoarder.
And
Okay,
one of the things
continue.
that would help you,
Yeah.
because I was in that boat for a very long time, it's you want to lose weight. This is just an example.
Yeah.
Then I'm just using that to illustrate an analogy for what clarity means. I want to lose weight and I have sweets in my pantry. I have chocolates in my pantry. You're not ready yet
Yeah.
because the human mind would want to eat those things because you'll be drawn to it. But
Mm.
scarcity, actually, when it's no longer there, you find yourself not longing after those things. So instead of having maybe chocolate, you have a protein bar. So instead of reaching out for chocolates, you are reaching out to a protein bar. That is clarity. You are clear about losing weight.
Yeah.
So it's no longer a wish in your head, it's a goal. It's something you've made up your mind about. And you decide, I need to increase my step. Well, I met a professor of mine. Professor is almost 80 years. He takes 15,000 steps every single day. He doesn't leave his house. So he's deliberate about moving around every day from the time he wakes up till he goes to sleep. His goal is he must get to that place of that amount. What about you? I work remotely, for instance. How do you move around to make sure you get that weight off your body? The clarity is sitting down and telling yourself the truth. Oh, I need to take more steps. Then the next question is, how do I need to take more steps? I live in a place like Winnipeg, for instance, and it's very cold. I can't be taking long walks in the snow. What about in your environment? Oh, I live in a one bedroom. You live in a one bedroom. How much of that perimeter can you cover every day?
Mm.
Do you know there was a time I was working while I was doing 100 squats a day? 100 squats a day. How do you do
Wow.
that? It's very simple. Do you know how?
How?
10 squats every 1 hour. That is clarity. That is breaking down that goal you have into
Okay.
small bites that enables you to understand the clarity of that goal. That is being specific in the smart portfolio. If you look at the smart area, that's being specific, right? So now 100 squats. How do I do 100 squats? That is ridiculous. But guess what? If I do 10 squats every 1 hour, in 10 hours, I have done how many squats? 100 squats. Oh, I don't have 10 hours. What about if I increase my squats to 15 and break it
Okay.
down to the number of hours available to me? Guess what you've done? You've met that goal you set for yourself for that particular day. Oh, I don't like drinking water. What if I put a bottle of water by my side that reminds me I need to drink water every hour? Someone says to me, I can't do 3 liters of water. That is too much for me. What
Mm.
if every 1 hour I take a sachet or a glass of water? Do you know how many water you drink at the end of the day? Breaking down how much is one glass of water and how many can I drink in one day? That gives you clarity. That, in its simplest form, is what clarity is. Having
Okay.
a clear idea. Oh, this is where I am, and this is where I need to
I
go.
want to.
And how do I do it? That's what clarity simply is. Simply put, model.
Okay, so now I confessed earlier that I'm a food hoarder. I like to buy food. I don't care. I just want to be seeing food in my house, right? So I want you to now help me gain clarity on how I can stop, because people don't know that there are different types of hoarding. I was watching Dr. Zoe on Instagram the other day, and he was talking
Mhm.
about hoarding. And I know that most of our parents back home, they were hoarders. And I was, as he was talking, I just remember myself, you too, you are also becoming a hoarder, because I mean, what's all this food doing in your freezer? The one of since meat of since 2022. What is this thing doing in your freezer? And you're buying more. So now in this situation, how do I gain clarity for this kind of situation? Some people can be, let's say, wig hoarders. Some people can be, let's say, house accessory hoarders. The more you buy things into your house, like clothes hoarders, you don't know that you have this problem. So how do we gain clarity in this situation now to move
Okay, so
forward? I don't
in
want to be a
terms,
hoarder again. So how do I
yeah,
gain
so
clarity?
in terms of, let me use the simple thing about the freezer, and I'll use the clothes. I'll come to the freezer. Let me speak to clothes. Every clothes I have not worn in 6 months, I don't need it.
Okay.
So I practically go through my wardrobe to see, what do I need, what needs to remain, what needs to go. So that's
Mm-hmm.
something you can also do. I learned that from one permanent secretary back in Nigeria. PS will say to me, if there's a cloth in your wardrobe you've not worn for 6 months, trust me, you don't need that cloth. Yes, for this climate, it might be a little bit different because you need to wear
Yeah.
clothes for the season. That
Yeah.
is different. But if you've not worn a particular cloth for a particular season, maybe like in twice, then you need to go and look at your wardrobe and take some things off. People need clothes. We hold on to things. I have a son. You
But
spoke to him yesterday. Do
is
you know what he
is
does?
being intentional, actually being intentional about it. That's, it's not as if we don't know that we can give out those things, but being intentional about giving it out, that's where the problem lies.
So I'll show you what you can do. I have a son who, if you give him anything, his clothes is 2 sizes below him. He likes seeing those things. They kind of just hold a kind of memory for him. He'd rather keep them than throw them away. So you see him packing, different kind of things together. And I said to him, you can't keep keeping these things because you don't need them.
Mm,
The question to you is, do you really need them? Back to your freezer. Do you need a meat that you've kept in your freezer for 2 years? Come on. Do you
mm-hmm.
need it? So one of the things you do first is to take inventory.
Okay, let me
We
cut you
always
short. You know what comes to my head? My head
tell
is
me,
like, I'm like, okay, yes, there's, as long as it's been in the freezer, there has been light, it's been frozen. I mean, there's no harm in still using it to cook. But I won't use it to cook, I'll go and buy a fresh one.
so what you need to do is, first of all, the discipline of checking, do an inventory of what you have.
Okay.
It's not something we can do every day, but you need to be intentional, you need to be purposeful, and you need to be deliberate. I'll give you a simple instance. A lot of us buy beef, we buy tomatoes, and we keep them in our freezer and say, you know what, for the rainy days, there are times where you have tomatoes in season.
Yeah.
Right now, tomatoes is being sold for about $4 per kg, and
Mm-hmm.
at times you can buy for $1 something. And there are times you get a full box for $30, $25, $20, $15. And you see a lot of people, kind of buy those kind of things and store them for the next year. Do you know those things have shelf lives? Do you know they
Tomatoes,
do?
I don't think if kept in the freezer has shelf life. I don't
Okay,
think so.
hold on. Do you know if you go and buy meat in any of the stores, there's a kind of expiry date on them? I don't know
Yes,
if
but
you've noticed
it
that.
was not kept in, those ones are not kept in the freezer now.
They're kept where?
They are kept in the, oh, is it more like a cooling place where they can be cooled, and then you see them displayed.
Oh,
And
really?
you're not picking them. Yeah, you're not keeping them from the freezer.
Okay, why
You're
do
not
you need
picking
to
them
keep?
from the
Let me
freezer.
ask you a simple question, Wolo. Why do you need to keep food for 1 year? And why are you buying more to something that you already have there? Is something stopping you? Because the first thing to gain clarity is what is stopping you from using what you have in your freezer first?
It's just laziness to go deep it and into the freezer to bring it out.
Okay, how much of those things do you keep and how long do you keep them for? One of the things you can do is very simple. I tell my children, when I buy, for instance, chicken or whatever, one of the things you do first is take out what we have first and put the new ones underneath and let the old ones come to the fore.
Yeah,
It's something you need to be, again,
yeah,
purposeful about. And you need to train your mind to do that. For instance, some of us buy bread and say, okay, let's keep it in the freezer for the next 1 week. We'll just eat what we have in the freezer. And one of the things that can also help you do is it helps you be accountable to yourself. How you spend your money. You buy a lot of things you don't need. You have so much things in your pantry that for the next 1 year, you don't even need it. But let me also tell you something, Wolo. Do you know we do that because of our scarcity mentality? Your subconscious, there's something that Paul Martinelli calls the stick man. Your subconscious actually dictates how you behave. Your past experience dictates your behavior. Now, what if you know day again? What if I know see am abeg as I see am make I buy keep? That's what we keep doing. But again, your resources could be channeled to something else. And someone is asking you, well, when was the last time you went on vacation? Oh, I don't have money to go on vacation. But when was the last time you actually went shopping to buy things you don't need? Maybe every other day. That money that you spend buying those things you don't need can actually be a funnel of little drops of water that can help you that would help you fund the next trip that you've been wanting to go on vacation that you've not actually gone. So
true.
now there's a reason for you to look at it differently. What if that thing I keep buying and I keep holding this thing, now I see I'll go and buy and keep, and what if I channel that funds into something else I've been meaning to do, but I've never had enough resources to do? How does that sound?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. It does. It does make a lot of sense.
So you're taking something from this aspect of what you have, channeling it to this other one, while at the same time you are dropping that habit you have of keeping something down here, but now it's being channeled into something else to ensure that you are creating value for yourself and also giving yourself that well-being that you desire. Do you know what my therapy is? My therapy is shopping. If I feel sad, I go shopping. If I feel sad, I go shopping. But what did I do to help me curb that habit? Shopping is therapeutic for me. I'm not joking. I just go into stores and I walk through the stores. I don't know how to do window shopping. I don't know how to do. I must buy something. I go to stores, I buy lots of things, and I get back and I'm like, did I really need them? But for me, it was comfort. The way people eat to comfort themselves, I shop to comfort myself because it's very therapeutic for me. So what do I do? When I'm in that mood, I've gained clarity now to know that I go on a shopping spree, I can spend $1,000 because I don't feel good. So guess what I do now? I drop the card at home and go to the store. And I make sure I don't have the payment app on my phone or transfer on my phone. So I just go out and I'm just looking at the store and I'm longing out. I wish my card was here with me. Oh, I've seen these beautiful things. Oh, I've seen these beautiful things. But do you know what that does for me? It actually makes my mind begin to realize that this thing you're about to buy, you really don't need it.
Need it.
You're comforting yourself. You're comforting yourself. So that helps you realize that there are some things, some habits you need to drop, and there's clarity. Now I know that if I'm in that mood where I feel like I need an uplift, guess what? Wolo, I found a game that helps me channel all of my energy into something else and creates my thinking ability. So when I go there and hit the ball as I play that game, guess what happens to me? I am thinking, I'm sweating out the frustration, the pain, the resentment, the anger. It's been each time I hit the ball, guess what happens? I hit out those things out of me. I found an outlet for those kind of things. So instead of going shopping, I found an outlet to channel my energy into. I have gained clarity enough to realize that, you see, all these things that you have bought, that you are using to comfort yourself, doesn't really help me because, first of all, there's a dent already in my card.
Your
I
card,
just
yeah.
planned spending, and
You now start hustling to make the money back.
I have to call it one half one. And what's the next thing that we can do? But that's not the way it should go.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so what else? What else are we going to gain clarity for? Please, if you have questions if you have questions, you can put them in the comment section so that she can also tackle them. I know a lot of people are in Canada right now who are temporary residents are confused. I know we are tilting towards the immigration side, right? They are kind of confused because of all the announcements and policies that are going on, and they would need some form of clarity this year. Like, what kind of advice can you give them in terms of clarity? Because, with all the announcements, sometimes it affects people's mental health, and they don't know what is going on. They are confused, they are worried. What kind of advice can you give to them for this year?
So for me, what I would say concerning the policies that are changing, first of all, is beyond your control. Second of all, you need to find out information and gain clarity about the information. I remember one time I called Wolo and I said to her, "Oh, see, there's this policy that just came out." So, like, I was like, calm down. If a policy is brought out or you just hear something, it doesn't even to take effect on that day that the policy is spoken about. First of all, go and learn more about these things. What I would say is read, be informed, and always make sure that your sources are genuine and
Yeah.
you are hearing from the right person. A lot of people dole out information left, right, center without confirming what the information is. Some people have done some things that they've looked back in regret and like, oh my goodness, I wish I had this information. You need trusted people like Wolo who would help you confirm your information. And like me, if you have an immigration policy that needs to be confirmed, call IROCC.
Yeah.
Call them. They are
Yeah.
the ones who are the custodian of the laws. A lot of immigrants are afraid to call IRCC. Call them. Why ask someone else who is on the same level as you are, who does not even understand what is going on, does not have clarity of the message to help you dissect a message that both of you are novice on? Call the experts. Always seek clarity on policies you do not understand. Always seek clarity. For me, that is what I would say. And I would like to speak to parents of immigrants. You must have clarity of how you want to raise your children. Number
Yeah.
one, do you have values? What are your values from the home? A lot of us leave training our kids to other people. Oh, the school system will train them. Oh, the Canadian government will train them. Or whatever country you are, the Nigerian government will train them, or whatever country you are. What about you? Do you have values for your children? Do you have personal values? Do your children have values that you've instilled in them? For instance, I grew up in an environment where my father says you cannot steal. So I grew up with that mentality that don't steal. You don't take what does not belong to you. My mother will send you back. Your children would have those values. So have those values embedded in your children such that they are quick to tell you things when things are happening. I hear a lot of people, there's so much disconnect with parents right here where I am because they don't really have that connection with their children. They've not given them the mission, the vision. They don't have a clear vision of what their home values stands for. So for me,
Mm,
I would just, that's an aside, just to say for parents, please do that.
okay. So we have a question. How do we gain clarity on career pathway, especially when you feel like you do so many different things at the same time?
Okay, I like that question a lot because I get that a lot of the times.
Mm,
How do you gain clarity on your career choice when you have so many things that you can do? I'll give you an example. So I worked in a very corporate organization for 18 years before I relocated, right?
yeah.
And I held a pastoral position where I had 30 churches under me and I had over 3,000 teenagers over me. I handled the teens church, I handled the children's church, and I also handled another department, right? And I work in a financial organization. I work with top government organizations. I only deal with public sector people and high network individual. And now I'm a woman of many hats.
Mm,
What do I do? How do I begin to carve a career for myself? I needed to sit down with myself and ask myself, okay, what exactly do you want to do at the start of everything else I needed to do? First of all, what is your area of giftedness? If I wake you up today and I say to yourself, who asked the question, what are you gifted in? You would know without even blinking your eyes. You would say it. My children would say to me, Mommy, you're a business and you're a parenting person. Why are you asking us what your giftedness is? If you know that, channel your energy towards that direction. And no one ever told you you can only do one thing. That's not possible.
okay.
Wolu wears many hats. Wolu does a couple of things, but you need to have that understanding of what comes first, what comes next, and what follows. You need to begin to understand that. For instance, I do sales, I do sales training, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a sales trainer. I'm a business coach. I'm a personal coach. I do one-on-one coaching. So if someone comes to me and says, "Oh, I have a teenager or a young person that needs coaching," I won't tell the person, "You know what? I'm only doing sales and business." So, no, it's a hat I wear. I will do it. Right? When the opportunity opens itself for you to work in the area of your giftedness or other areas you work in, do not throw it away and say, I don't do that. As
Okay.
long as you have competence in that area, please go ahead and do it. But you must do it in the area of priority. What can you do where you are right now? What is
Okay.
feasible for you? Where I work, I do something different from what I do in my business,
Mm,
but I have competencies in those levels. So your level of competence will determine what you do and how
okay.
you can go about doing it.
Okay. So one person asked how can some okay in a situation where the person wants to study French and the person is working as an 8 to 5 more, how can the person position themselves? Like I'm just trying to see how clarity comes into this now. Like
Okay, for sure.
how can the person marry both studying and working at the same time?
Okay, I'll tell you something quite interesting. You work 8 to 4, right? And you have kids. How many kids do you have? Let's say you have 4 kids. For instance, the person asking this question and both of your spouses are working.
Mm,
So one of the things that would help you, and you need to learn French, that's an added skill for you.
yeah.
How many kids does this person have, and how old are the children? One of the things that would help you is if you work an 8 to 4 job and you have children, maybe 10 and under, 16 and under. One of the things that would help you gain time is plan your days and your week ahead. Today is Sunday. Pick out the clothes you wear for the week. And for your children, if they don't go to a school where they wear uniform, help them pick out the clothes they will wear for the year, for the week, sorry, just for one week. That's number two. The third thing is plan the meals for the week. The fourth one is create a schedule for your kids. If you go to 8 to 4, you get back from work, you can decide to have an early sleeping time for the children. Get them to sleep, say 8 o'clock if you can. My kids don't sleep at 8, but if you can get your kids to sleep between the hours of 8 to 9, get them to sleep. Then you have between 9 and 10 to do your study. How many hours of study do you need? If your French, for instance, is self-paced, How many hours have you decided to dedicate to that time? Create the time. 24 hours is enough for you to create every activity that you need to do.
Mm,
Trust me, I can tell you that for sure. But you need to be deliberate and intentional about your time usage. I have something called the 15 minutes time. If that person can reach out to me, I can send it to them. It blocks your time every 15 minutes. You write down what you do every 15 minutes. You will see your time stealers. The president of the United States have the same time as you are, but you are not as busy as they are. Trust me. I have seen that. So what the problem we have is we have time stealers. And again, we need to begin to understand the right usage of time,
mm,
right? If you understand that timing, you can see you can take 15 minutes from here, 15 minutes from here, 30 minutes from here. I have a child who cannot read for 1 hour. I have another child who can sit down and do a speed read for 1 hour. So what do I do with the child that cannot study for so long? I give him 15 minutes block of reading. The same thing. Your break time, you can use 15 minutes of your break, your 1 hour break or your 40 minutes break and read. Instead of going to chat with other people, you are deliberate about your time.
yeah.
When I call Wolo, I tell Wolo, I'm going to speak to you for 5 minutes. And I scale it down to that 5 minutes. When it's 4:59, I say, Wolo, do you know what I told you I was going to speak to you for 5 minutes? I cut it down. Now you begin to see where your time is being theft. There's time theft. If you are able to, if you are able to identify what is stealing your time, you would see you can get 1 hour or 30 minutes every day dedicated to your French class. You will find out the time and you will do it. That would be my clear suggestion to that person.
This is awesome suggestion. It reminded me of when we just newly came. Then we didn't have a car, so I was taking the bus to work, and then I was a friend of the library. Not now that my life has turned upside up. I will always go to the library, borrow books, and then when I'm going to work in the bus, I'll read. And then on my way back in the bus, I'll read because I mean the commuting where you're taking a bus is always that long. So and I was able to read a lot of books that year between 2016, 2017, and 2018. I was able to achieve that. But these days, social media is now an issue, and I want you to really talk about this because I feel that social media is a time stealer, right? And you feel that you just want to quickly search one or two things on social media before you know what you're on somebody's page, you're oohing, you're this picture is beautiful, you're commenting, you're going back, and then the next thing before you know what's happening, 3 hours has gone. So how do we now, this is the year of gaining clarity, like we need to regain back our time to channel the time to things that are useful for us. So how do we manage social media? Because I mean, for business people, you have to be on social media, you have to keep posting, you have to keep responding, and then you're all on these social media platforms. You're on LinkedIn, you're on Twitter, you're on TikTok, you're on Thread, you're on Instagram. All these things just keeps taking your time. So how do we handle this situation of social media?
Okay, so for social media, what I find and what I do is this: schedule your time. My son picked my phone one day and said, Mommy, your YouTube has time limits. You're an adult. What do you need time limit for? And I said to him, because I need to spend my time wisely. He said, But mommy, you're an adult. You don't need. I said, No, because it's so easy to get carried away while you're on social media. Because there's so many beautiful things, good things, they all seem very good. But do you know that good is an enemy for great? So if you want to be a great person, you need to begin to dish the good and you need to be deliberate. I love one of the books I would recommend is James Clear Atomic Habits. Do you know what he said? James Clear says he has particular time of the day where he uses his phone. And that is what I have decided to do. And one of the easiest way we see that we actually scroll is when we have things on our page, on our personal phone. You can move your social media handles to your laptop, to your computers, and just keep only the basic things on your phone so you're not tempted. And you can have reminders. If I show you my phone here, I have reminders for different things on my phone. And what does that do for me? It sets my head to create things differently. Social media, I tell myself I'll be there for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, I put my timer, I'm out. I need to post every day. You know, you get notifications on your phone when you have comments.
Yeah.
Schedule a particular time when you respond to everybody's comments. There is no law that says you must respond within 2 minutes of every comment you receive. No, you can just schedule and tell yourself at the end of this day, I have 1 hour for social media. I did ChatGPT is my personal assistant. So I just tell him, this is what I do. I do TikTok, I do Instagram, I do YouTube, I do LinkedIn, I do Facebook and YouTube. Can you create a schedule for me that does not steal my time? I need to accomplish X, Y, Z. And I put it there and it gives me a breakdown. And I move it around. Between the hours of 1 and 2, I am doing social media. I am there because I need to grow my business. I need to grow my audience. I need to do that. And I stay there and I do it. After that, I shut my eyes and my head to it and I go to the next thing. But you know what the problem is, Wolo, is people don't have things they do. That's why they get so carried away. I told my children I'm
Are you
1 year.
sure? People have a lot of things to do, but the addiction, the social media addiction is something else. It's what a lot of people
Okay,
do
but
not
Wolo, if
agree.
you have, let me give you an example. If I have an exam tomorrow, I won't spend time on social media.
That's
Why?
true.
It's an emergency.
That's true.
Now, is whatever you are doing on social media, is it important? You can use the 4 quadrants. Is it urgent? Can it wait for a later time? If I have other things I've filled my time with, guess what happens? If I have scheduled things to do, for instance, Wolo, you're a very busy person. The only reason why you are here today is not because of lack of other things to do, but because you've scheduled this time for this event.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going to. If I have things scheduled on my space, this is what I need to do, I need to do, I need to do, I need to do, you will get them done. But if there is nothing scheduled, you know, we have this mentality sometimes of, you know what, I know I have to do this, I know I have to do this, I know I have to do this, and it's not on a schedule. Your subconscious mind is not going to get that thing done. At the end of the day, you're like, oh, but I accomplished a lot, but what exactly did you accomplish? That's what the clarity is about. You need to be clear about what you need to do. It's when I have a lot of time on my hand, I go and spend time on social media. I have 4 kids, Wolo, 4. And all of them need at you, Wolo, you know my story. I don't need to start
Yeah.
saying it.
Yeah.
All of them need different attention for different things. What do I do? As a mother, I keep my meals as simple as possible. For instance, tomorrow morning they will eat crepes. How long does it take me to make crepes for breakfast? And that crepes can also be lunch. So I don't spend an extensive amount of time creating a lot of, or making rice, making banga soup that will take me a long time, right? Now
Mm.
I've done that. I realized that I need to read a lot. I have over 100 books on my book list, hard copies on my shelf I need to read. What do? I need to schedule that time. I have master classes, I have podcasts I need to listen to. I need to do my exercises, I need to do XYZ. I won't spend so much time because I've already scheduled my time. I have that consciousness in me that, you know what, this is what I want to do. And not just social media, chit chat, calling someone and speaking for 1 hour. What are you people discussing exactly?
We are
So if
discussing
you,
life.
so if you have one, so for
Life
instance,
is
I have
life.
social media now. I learned how to make my hair on social media. This year I made it myself.
Mm.
I am going to look for that hair. How long will I see what I like and I move on? Oh, there's a video I like. There's that reminder. My alarm goes off and blocks me and said, your limit for the day is over. And I'm like, okay. There's also the temptation to press ignore limit for today. But that is where discipline comes and clarity. I'll keep going back to clarity,
Yeah.
intentionality, and being purposeful. If you are not purposeful about these things, you will just watch your whole time and everywhere go off. I told someone there were things I wanted to learn for last year. You know what the person told me? He said, Eruke, you have too many things on your plate. You won't achieve them.
Mm.
And in November, I jokingly told this person, and I said, do you know I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? It was in awe. I said, how did you do it? You have to gain clarity. One last thing I'll say before I move out of before you ask the next question is
Yeah.
you want let me I go back to weight loss. You want to lose weight and you are not losing the weight. Doctors have told you cholesterol is high, high blood pressure is there. It's your decision. If you don't have clarity of, do I want to live in health? Do I want to live? Do I want to continually take drugs prescription? It's a
Mm,
decision you have to make by yourself. All of this thing comes down to you. Can you discipline yourself enough to say, you know what? I have this goal and this vision I have already, and I need to run with it. Once you have that clarity, Wolo, it is easier for you to
mm.
follow the things that you need to do.
Okay, so it brings me to my next question. How do we now manage extended family relationships? Like, we need that clarity on how we can manage extended family relationships. I'm going to give myself as an example. I I carry a lot of like family burden. I'm a family person, right? If something is happening to my sibling, is affect like is that it's as if it is me it is affecting, even if it is not me. So, but I feel that I'm doing too much of it because it's now impacting in other lives as well as people that I work with or my clients as well. Because I feel
Mhm.
I'm so is it empathetic or how do they put the
Yeah,
grammar?
pathetic
Em-
here, people.
yeah, empathetic. I'm so empathetic that I carry a lot of people's burdens, and I feel that it's overwhelming. It's beginning to affect me, and I want to like kind of limit it. So I'm like, how do I do this? So it doesn't look like I am offending people. I'm not a people pleaser. I just genuinely
Mm-hmm.
love to carry people's burdens. And yeah, I have my immediate family. I also have my siblings, my parents, and all of that. And then I still have my friends and all of that. I still have clients. So all these people's burdens is just like weighing so much on me. How do I manage this situation? And like, I want clarity in this area. Like, how do you navigate the relationship such that you're not carrying so much burden, and then you put yourself in a position of, okay, this is how much I can do, not that you carry the whole matter on your head. Like me, I can carry matter on my head like gala. I know I know how to do that. I know how to carry people's problems and fight, and there is a solution around it. So how, but I feel that it's becoming stressful, like the burden is becoming too much. How do I gain clarity in this area such that I don't just drop them, because I mean they're part of
Mm-hmm.
me. We've been through a lot together as a family, right? But at the same time, I want them to be able to meet me halfway so that it doesn't look like I'm carrying the whole body. Okay, so I'll need your insight in that area for extended family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not your immediate family, but extended family.
So when it comes to all of these you've spoken to, what I will say is boundaries.
Mm,
I learned very painful, and I'll say that again. I learned very, very painfully when I did not set boundaries. There's so much you can go and there's so much you can do. Remember, you're just one person.
mm,
Again, Wolo, you know how both of us are. You want to help everybody who comes to you with a problem.
yeah.
Oh, I want to help everyone who is coming to meet me. But again, we need to start doing what I call censoring. Which of these problems do I really need to handle? Can this person handle this problem by themselves? What if I give them an opportunity to try and sort this problem by themselves first before I take it on myself? So, what I was doing was to take on people's issues that they throw on me, right? While neglecting my own family because, the children would understand. You know what my daughter told me one day? Mommy, you love everybody else more than you love us. And I looked at her and I said to her, what does that mean? She said, because they've not even called you, you have gone. But if I say, Mommy, I need to do X, Y, Z, you say, oh, hold on, I'm coming. But this person has just called you, Mommy, you have gone away. Meanwhile, we've been asking you for this same thing. And you've been asking us to wait, wait, wait. Someone just called you and they heard the conversation, right? Because you are putting every other person else first. I'll tell you what I learned from Miles Monroe. Miles Monroe said something that shook my foundation and helped me set clear boundaries. Miles Monroe said something. My family always comes first. He said he has loved his wife and his children so much so that if they call him, for instance, someone is sick, right? And they are calling him that pastor, you need to be there. And his wife calls him and say, where are you? I need you right now. That person be there. It's not like wishing the person bad, right? But
Mm.
just so that you know that my family comes first. Whatever we do, we need to put our families first, which is very, very
But we are
important.
putting our family first now. But I'm still
No,
talking
hold
about,
on. I'm talking about your immediate. I
you
know
grow
what
up
you're
with your
saying.
siblings and you've gone through a lot, and you're like,
I will go. Yes,
you
I
can't leave this
will.
person
I
behind.
will. I would address that. What I'm trying to say is, first of all, your families come first.
Yeah,
Then you now begin to trickle it down. This person that is calling you, your sibling that is calling you, that you have gone through so much together, can they do this task they are calling you for? Or it's because they know that once they call you, they can make you jump high and low. They will begin to make you do that. You need to understand, like I said, censor and setting boundaries is very important. This issue that you are being called upon, can it be resolved? Well, let me ask you a question. Have you not had issues that they told you that the wall and everywhere was falling down and something happened that distracted you, only for you to realize that that issue was really has already been resolved? And you will not be asking yourself, so what was all the worry about? Has that happened to you before?
yeah, it has. It has.
Time and time and time and time again. We can't cut off family. It is not possible to cut off your family and say, oh, I won't help this person. No. But
Mm.
who do you need to genuinely help? Who do you need to? Because again, like you said, if I'm burning out to help somebody, there's a problem. Oh. There is a serious problem. If I am having a burnout just because I'm helping someone, then it means that I'm taking more than I can chew. There are other people we can distribute it among other people. Don't you have the same people in the same family that will say, you know what, well, this thing you're calling me for, that person can handle it. Please don't involve me in that person's issues. Don't you have those kind of people too?
Well, not really. Let's say no. I don't have.
Okay, but you also have them that will
Let's
say,
say I
okay,
don't have.
let's hold on and see if this issue will sort itself out.
But how do we now meet each other halfway, right? So
That's the
everybody's looking up
boundaries.
to you, right? And
Mhm.
then you've been always helping. How do we meet each other halfway such that you're not overburdened with the person's situation? Because this thing I'm talking about now is now filtering into even external people.
Mm.
Like, yeah, because I carry my family, I'm not carrying extended, I will not carry more people, like everybody, even my clients, even unknown people, like I will start carrying their problems on my head. And I'm let's say I'm stressed and I'm tired, I'm cranky and all of that. How do we now start meeting each other halfway so it doesn't look like you're completely ignoring this person, but you know that this person actually needs your help?
This person actually needs your help. Are you the only person that can help that person?
If you're in that situation and you're the only person that can help, what do you do?
If you're the only person that can genuinely help this person, go ahead and help this person. If you are the only person. But
Okay,
again, if you're having a lot of people that you are the only person that can solve that problem, there is a problem
there
already.
is a problem.
For
Yeah.
me, I've seen a problem. If you are the only person that can solve everybody else's problem, there's a big problem.
Yeah.
So you need to distribute the problems to other people. There's something called problem distribution. Oh, do you
Okay.
know what? How can someone else assist in this area that this person is feeling a burden about? How can
Mm.
someone else assist in these areas? And again, choose your area of competence. If I come to you, for instance, and I say to you, "Oh, Wolo, I need leadership training." Do you do leadership training?
No.
So pick only the parts that you are good at. The other
What if I
ones,
don't? What if? Okay, so what do I tell the person? Do I tell the person no? Or okay, let me. This is a typical example.
yes,
Somebody comes
give us
to
an
me, I
example.
want this, right? And the person does not know or cannot figure out how to get it, and I don't do it. But I put myself in a situation where I will now help the person find the person that can do it, which is an additional stress because the person does not know it, I don't know it, but because I love to find things, I will now put myself to start finding a solution for that person. So how do you handle such situations?
The question, what I would tell you is, do you have time on your hands to do that? So then it's not every time you have a
Even if I
free
don't have the
plate.
time, I will always always
No,
put
but
it in
again,
my
what you
plate.
can simply do to take off that burden off you is to kindly tell the person, like you, like one of the, I said some things about you and it felt like I was eulogizing you. I wasn't, because that's who you are. So
Mm,
one of the skills you need to learn is a skill of no, of
okay.
saying no. So you need to do it very politely, being who you are. Again, there's that subconscious part of you that says, oh, what if someone else come and ask me the same question? I'll need to put it in my bucket, in my toolbox, so I can help someone else.
Else,
But the
yeah.
thing is, we can't have everything under our belt. Someone is meeting you at the point where you are already overwhelmed. You kindly, politely tell this person, at this point, I would love to help you, but you need to find someone else who can assist you at this point. I'm not able to go forward more than this at this point. John Maxwell called it the gift of saying no. We can't do everything.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have so much on your plate, oh yes, by all means, help this person. But if you're already overburdened, guess what happens? It's like a skill. What happens when it's killed is something is going to tilt, something would suffer because you have decided to be of help to someone else. A client's work would suffer because you have been helpful.
Yeah.
And that is not what you want to do. The clarity is you want to find a balance somewhere, not upscaling yourself. But what you're helping this person for is not your competence level. Let the person go and find how they will resolve that issue. It's not within your power to help that person at that point in your life. So, what I would say to that is know when to say yes and know when to say no. That's the only way you can figure out and find a kind of a balance. Otherwise, your scale will always be tilted towards you have too much on your plate, you're not meeting your required deadlines, and people will begin to see you as incompetent, unreliable, not dependable, and that's not who you are. So
Mm-hmm.
you want to keep that clarity of who am I? First of all, you need to go back to yourself. What do I want to be known for?
Mm.
If you have what you want to be known for, Jeff Henderson will say, what you are known for, you need to keep that image. Otherwise, you're helping other people and denting the image you're trying or you already built for yourself. And
Mm.
people begin to look at you differently. So you need to understand first, what are my values? Does this work with me at this point in time? And be very polite because I know how you can be. Otherwise, people would see you as hurried. People will see you as impatient.
Mm-hmm.
People will see you as you're always upset. People will see you as, oh, this lady does not even have manners. Why? But the only reason why you are that way is because you've
I've carried
beaten
too many.
more than you
Mm.
can chew.
Mm. Okay, so at least we've discussed a lot of things around social media, around extended family, how to put in the balance,
Yeah.
um, and then we've talked about career as well. I want to also bring education now into this, like education, and I want you to throw more light in terms of clarity because we find ourselves in a world where
Mhm.
people are studying programs that they don't really like because they feel that there's going to be financial gain at the end of the day. They just like, tilt themselves towards that direction. So for somebody who is stuck now in terms of education, like I want to study, I want to study, let's say, management, but I don't think, or let me use the typical example. I want to do nursing because nursing is where the money is, or I want to do tech because tech is where the money is. How can you help someone gain clarity? Because I mean, in reality, right? In reality, the
Mhm.
world does not care about what you study.
Mhm.
It's what is in demand. And what is in demand is the healthcare. What is in demand is tech. Whether you are passionate about football and you're a footballer, you want to be the best footballer, you want to be Ronaldo second, the world does not care, right? But because everybody is tilting towards what is actually in demand, what is going to pay money, you are being forced into that direction. So how do we gain clarity and how do we advise people to stay on the path that they like, or do we just ignore what we like as humans and just go after the money? Because I mean, we need the money to survive. We need the money to show that we have arrived.
Okay, and again, there is in this question, there's a bit of, here, neither here nor there.
Hmm.
But personally, my suggestion would be do what you would do best.
Okay.
Always go for the area of your competence and your area of giftedness. That is where I would always tilt towards. Yes, people are doing nursing. People, that's where the money is, for instance. Tech is where all the funds are going. Do you know this thing? I've had friends or people I know who got into the tech field and they actually got a job. They did all of these things. And after 2 months, they were out because they were burnt out because they really were not equipped for it.
Mm,
But if you have the capacity, I also have someone who read law and is doing nursing right now. She had that determination and the zeal. She already had that humanitarian heart to say, this is what I really would like to do. But somehow your situation made you did something else previously. And now you have a clear path. This is what I want to do. Go ahead, by all means, do it. I want to go and read nursing. I don't have the head for it. You will be frustrated, first of all. There are
mm,
people who have been trying to pass their medical exams for years. They've not passed it. They are still frustrated. But if you've made up your mind, this is what you want to do, and you are married, you have children, you know that this part requires a lot of dedication, and your partner or has agreed to help you along that line, by all means, go ahead and do it. But
mm.
if you know that this is the part that is going to bring money, but you don't have the head, the time, or the patience to learn it, please, I beg you, do the one that you have the power for and leave the money. The money will always come. Sometimes in our pursuits of money, we discard a lot of things and don't put other things in consideration. Again, what I would tell everyone is, what does success mean to you? Does, if you success in your career, does it mean getting that degree that you so desired, that is in demand, and you're able to, cross the hurdle and get it? If you can, by all means. But if you know you cannot, don't go and get frustrated. Because a lot of people are frustrated and stuck in this so-called
But
in
they are
demand.
enjoying the money now.
They are doing it. Yes. Like I said, if you
But the
can
money
follow
is
the right road,
there.
if you can follow that road and it's okay for you and you think you can, by all means do it. But if you know that struggle will give you stress, some people are burnt out and they dropped out under this same following in demand, while others they trudged through years and years, they scaled through. There are
Mm,
others who did party, they got it through, and there are others who just killed it.
mm,
Know yourself. For me, I would tell you, how well do you know yourself? If you believe you can do it, go ahead and do it and get all the money. Let's see how much you can really make. That would be my sincere and candid suggestion for those who are in this education part and they are trying to struggle. Make up your mind what you want to do. And if you decide this is the in demand thing you want to do, go all out. Don't start looking for a second job, because in demand means is what? Demanding.
mm,
In demand means is what? Time consuming. In demand means you need to be disciplined. In demand means that you need to pay attention to it because it will be very demanding. That would be
mm.
my suggestion.
Okay, thank you so much for that clarity. So one more before we've been talking since, and 1 hour is already flying by. Kai, I didn't know
Doesn't it
that
feel like
this
1 hour?
conversation was this sweet. It's almost 1 hour. I didn't know. Okay, so one more burning question that I have.
Mhm,
Clarity about retirement. And this is personal to me because for some time now I've just been thinking retirement. Okay, what do I do? Retirement, should I, do we continue working? Like there are some people of the school of thought that if you retire and you just relax, it will affect your
mhm,
health. But if you are active, it won't affect your health. And then there are people that are of the school of thought that you should just relax. I mean, you've been working all your life. Don't what do you call it now? Don't relax. Don't worry about that. Okay, so I find myself in a situation where I feel like I should take a pre-retirement. I shouldn't
mhm,
wait until the retirement age. I should
mhm,
take a pre-retirement now. Um, just take 1 year off without doing anything. At least I should have saved up for the year to cover my expenses for the year and just see how it feels like. Some people call it, I don't know, there's one name that was trending one time like that, where they would just take 1 year gap without doing anything, just to explore themselves and all of that, instead of waiting till they get to 60 before they do all the things that they want to do, right?
mhm,
And then I'm also in a situation where I'm thinking, okay, I don't want to do the retirement. Let me keep hustling. Let's keep hustling, right? Hustle, and then where do we go to? Where do we retire to? Do we retire back to Nigeria, or do we stay in Canada? Or like, how do you help somebody who is in this state of confusion gain clarity on what to do in terms of retirement?
Again, what I would say is, what does success mean to you?
Mhm.
In retirement, again, what does that look like to you? In your head, when you think of retirement, what does that look like to you? A great example for me is John Maxwell. John Maxwell turned 79, 78 last year. He'll be 78 this year. 79 this year. It was 78 last year. And guess what he's doing? In his mind, really, he's still having leadership conferences, he's still transforming countries, he's still traveling all over the world to change lives. For him, is that retirement? Is
That's
beyond,
not retirement. He's still
he has
working
gone
now.
beyond retirement. But again, what is he doing? He's reproducing himself in us. He said, "Do you know what? I want to keep my legacy." So John Maxwell has given me his resources and said, Eruke, and over 50,000 people around the world to say, "You know what? I've replicated myself in all of you. Let the legacy continue." And he's giving us opportunity to go and represent him in different countries. For him, that's what his own retirement looks like. What does that look like? When you think about retirement, do you think about a retirement home where you go and sit down and be drooling and someone else is taking care of you? Or you have this idea of, I want to retire, but I want to put legacy in place where people will keep on doing the things that I have done. What does that mean to you? That 1 year people take off, do you know what they do in that 1 year? It's called the year of discovery. What do I want to do? They're actually trying to gain clarity. They want to sit down and begin to ask themselves, should I delve into this? Should I delve into this without the encumbrance of having a 9 or 8 to 5 job or running a business? I just want to be alone for that 1 year. For me, I won't call it the personal 1 year retreat, where you actually begin to test the waters. What do I need to do? What do I need no need to do? So that question, I'll throw it back to you. What does success look like to you? And when you
Yeah,
think about
wonderful.
retirement, what does that look like to you? My retirement for me, I'll give you a simple example, is me being able to look at teenagers, young people, and people owning their businesses and having these kind of discussions with them. Where you come for a cup of coffee and we are talking and reviewing books and reviewing notes. That's what it looks like to me. Retirement does not look to me like going to sit down in one place and just be thinking, oh, how my life has passed through. No. Retirement for me is playing the sport I love how to play at 80, going around and affecting and touching people's lives and replicating myself in other people to do other things. So it will boil down to what that particular person need, like you, Wolo. What does retirement look like to you? And when you will say you are successful, because at the point you are retiring, it means that you have achieved a certain goal.
Mhm.
What does that mean to you? And knowing who you are, I don't think you're the kind of person who wants to be retired at even 40 and sit down at home and just be drooling and drinking coffee and going on spa dates. You'll be bored to death. I put it to you. You are the kind of person who wants to be able to achieve and affect lives more. It could be to what scale and how do you want to do it? That for me is the simplest way to explain what retirement is. Number one, you need to gain clarity of what success looks like to you. Number two, you need to come up with an idea. What exactly do you want to do when you retire? What lives do you want to affect? What kind of environment do you want to find yourself? How active do you want to become? Where do you want to go to? Even if you want to decide you want to go the whole world, how do you intend to do it? Yes, you have the funds, but would you not want to replicate that funds in other ways? Do you have residual funds? Do you have investments? Do you have things you've put in place to ensure that all these things roll without you being around? For me, that's the things you need to first of all think about and decide how you want to settle it.
Okay, so it's been a 1 hour of clarity on different aspects of life, and I'm so happy that Eruke has done justice to this session. I know we are not talking about immigration on this session, but we did talk a little bit about immigration. It's just that I did back-to-back immigration last year December, and I felt okay.
Mhm.
Let's start on a different note, and then we go back to immigration. A lot is already happening in immigration, which I'll talk about in videos this coming week. But for this session, I wanted us to like gain clarity on different aspects of life that affects
Mhm.
us. You know, sometimes you might think that you are a superhuman, you know everything yourself, but it's good to have conversations with people, and then you get a lot of clarity and insights into other things about life. And I'm happy that Eruke joined us. And like I said, she's a coach. She has really um, delved into this John Maxwell Leadership Academy thing. Like she has all her certifications under her belt. And if you feel that you really want to have one-on-one conversation for you to have clarity in anything, please, I'll leave her details in the description box of this video so that you can reach out to her and have a conversation. And she's my personal person. She knows. And I want to say thank you to all of you that joined this session, to my big bros, Mr. Roland. I really appreciate you. To Ikemesit, thank you. To Woro, thank you. To Emilia, thank you. To Chidima and Joku, thank you. You told me what the word was. Fun employment. Yes, fun employment. Yeah, that was it. That's the key word. Yeah, fun employment. I've been thinking about it recently. I just feel like maybe I should just take a 1 year gap and then just explore
Remember, we
things.
have to go together anywhere
Ah,
you are going.
okay, you go with us. Okay, so yeah, thank you, Chidozie. Thank you, Akpofure. Thank you, Ofe Awudu. Thank you so much. Thank you, all of you. Thank you, Israel. Thank you, Osiratu. Thank you, Ehis. I'm saying thank you to everybody that joined this live session. Thank you, Patience. Thank you, Ini. Thank you, Olu. Olu mentioned that if you call RCC, sometimes the people that attend to you are not competent, and that's true to an extent. That's true.
Mhm.
So in this situation, if you have issues and you're there, all the news are filtering on social media, anything concerning immigration, you can also talk to immigration consultants or lawyers to get more clarity. Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you, Chijioke. I'm saying I'm giving the thank you call. Thank you, Marina. Thank you so much, Marina. You're the next person that will come on my YouTube live, or I
Hey,
come on your YouTube live. Which
Marina.
one? I don't know which one. Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you so much for joining this session. And I want to wish you all a happy new year. I believe that we have gained clarity in some aspects of our lives.
Mhm.
Even if it doesn't deal directly with you, at least you must have picked one or two things that you can use to help yourself for the year. And I pray that this year will be a blissful year for us. We will not be stressed.
Mhm.
Eruka
Amen.
will not come here and I'll say I'm stressed. And I will not and other people will not come here and say I'm stressed because I'm trying to help every other person. So I pray that we put all these things in place. And one thing is to hear them, and another thing is to implement. Implementation is where the issue lies. It's not as if we don't know
Mhm.
these things. Some of us we know these things, but where we have problem is actually implementation.
Mhm.
And I pray that we get the strength and the grace to implement things in our lives that would make this year a smooth sailing one and not a stressful one.
For
So
sure.
this is where we will end today's session, and you will be seeing me in videos, and then until I announce the next live session after me and Marina must have discussed. All right. Thank you so much, and have a beautiful Sunday. Have a beautiful evening. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Thank
Eruke. Thank
you.
you. All right. Bye.